What if Tuukka Rask retires in 2021? There was some speculation going around that Tuukka Rask might retire in 2021 when his contract is over. If Rask does indeed retire, I think the Bruins should tear everything down and do a full rebuild. If the Bruins were to do a full rebuild, the only players they would keep are Pastrnak and McAvoy. What if Tuukka Rask retires in 2021? How would this impact the NHL? After the retirement of Tuukka Rask, the Bruins make several key trades involving their core players. Boston Bruins trade Patrice Bergeron, Brandon Carlo, and Andre Casse to the New York Rangers for Kaapo Kakko, Adam Fox, Filipino, and a first-round pick in 2022. Boston Bruins also trade Brad Marchand and Charlie Coyle to the Vegas Golden Knights for Peyton Krebs, Alex Tuch, Cody Glass, and a first-round pick in 2021. Jake DeBrusk and Anders Borg are traded to the Montreal Canadiens for Caden Primo and a third-round pick in 2022. Boston Bruins re-sign Adam Fox to a 6-year deal worth $5 million per season. Filipino is re-signed to a 3-year deal worth $4 million per season. Sean Kuraly and Nick Ritchie are re-signed to 3-year deals worth $1.5 million per season. Boston Bruins don't re-sign David Krejci, he becomes a UFA. Seattle Kraken enter the NHL in 2021. Seattle Kraken acquire Milan Lucic, Oliver Kylington, and a first-round pick in 2021 from the Calgary Flames to take on Milan Lucic's contract. They also acquired Jordan Staal from the Carolina Hurricanes, so they don't select Jake Gardiner or Nino Niederreiter. Seattle Kraken also acquires a first-round pick in 2022 from Nashville to take on Kyle Turris' contract. Seattle will also acquire Samuel Poulin, Casey DeSmith, and a first-round pick in 2022 from the Pittsburgh Penguins so they can protect Tristan Jarry. Seattle Kraken trade Alex Edler and Yaroslav Halak to the LA Kings for Tyler Madden and a first-round pick in 2023. Nick Bonino, Dominic Cahoon, and Matthias Janmark are traded to the Detroit Red Wings for a second-round pick in 2021 and a second-round pick in 2022. Seattle Kraken also will trade Connor Murphy, Miles Wood, and Andrew Kopp to the Anaheim Ducks for Kiefer Sherwood, third-round pick in 2021, and a fourth-round pick in 2022. Antti Ranta is traded to the Ottawa Senators for a second-round pick in 2022 and a third-round pick in 2021. This is Seattle's roster after the expansion draft. The first line is Zach Sanford, Jordan Staal, and Joel Armia. Second line is Connor Sheary, Logan Brown, and Ryan DeZingle. Third line is Carl Hagelin, Kyle Turris, and Ryan Donato. Fourth line is Milan Lucic, Casey Cizikas, and Noel Akari. First D pair is Travis Dermott and Ethan Bear. Second D pair is Ryan Graves and Kevin Shattenkirk. Third D pair is Oliver Kylington and Marcus Nudavara. Goalies are Jonathan Quick and Casey DeSmith. Spares are Jacob Larson, Taro Hirose, Dylan Gambrell, and Kiefer Sherwood. On IR, Nolan Patrick, and top prospects are Samuel Poulin. This brings us to the 2021 draft. 2021 draft results. Seattle Kraken select Aatu Raty, Ottawa Senators select Owen Power, New Jersey Devils select Dylan Gunther, Detroit Red Wings select Kent Johnson, Anaheim Ducks select Chaz Lucius, LA Kings select Simon Edvinsson, San Jose Sharks select Matthew Beniers, Chicago Blackhawks select Luke Hughes, Montreal Canadiens select Zachary Bolduc, Nashville Predators select Brent Clark, New York Rangers select Mason McTavish, Buffalo Sabres select Carson Lambos, Minnesota Wild select Zachary LaHaro, Columbus Blue Jackets select Carson Ceulemans, Florida Panthers select Connor Roulette, Vancouver Canucks select Brett Harrison, Edmonton Oilers select Samu Tumala, Winnipeg Jets select Aiden Harashchuk, Arizona Coyotes select Cole Sillinger, Toronto Maple Leafs select Daniil Chaika, Philadelphia Flyers select Xavier Bourgault, Dallas Stars select Matthew Neese, Carolina Hurricanes select Logan Stankoven, New York Islanders select Cameron Wynot, Colorado Avalanche select Stanislav Svozil, Pittsburgh Penguins select Artem Grushnikov, St. Louis Blues select Martin Rysavy, Washington Capitals select Jack O'Brien, and the Tampa Bay Lightning select Cameron McDonald. Seattle Kraken draft Aatu Raty and Jasper Wallstedt in the 2021 draft. Boston Bruins draft Francisco Pinelli and Isaac Beliveau in the 2021 draft. After the draft, a few other trades are made. Edmonton Oilers trade Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Andreas Athanasiou to the Florida Panthers for Evgeny Dadonov, Hendrik Borgstrom, and a first-round pick in 2022. New York Rangers trade Ryan Strome and Pavel Buchnevich to the Anaheim Ducks for Troy Terry, Sam Steele, and Danton Heinen. New York Rangers trade Andre Kasse to the Vegas Golden Knights for a second-round pick in 2022. Vegas Golden Knights trade William Karlsson and Riley Smith to the Detroit Red Wings for Joe Bellino and Michael Rasmussen. Winnipeg Jets trade Nikolai Ehlers to the Buffalo Sabres for Rasmus Ristolainen. Florida Panthers re-signed Ryan Nugent-Hopkins to a 6-year deal worth $6 million per season. LA Kings re-signed Alex Edler to a 2-year deal worth $6 million per season. Anaheim Ducks re-signed Pavel Buchnevich to a 4-year deal worth $3.75 million per season. Detroit Red Wings re-signed Nick Bonino to a 3-year deal worth $3.5 million per season. Vegas Golden Knights re-signed Andre Kasse to a 3-year deal worth $3 million per season, and Michael Rasmussen to a 2-year deal worth $2.6 million per season. New York Rangers re-signed Sam Steele and Danton Heinen to a 3-year deal worth $3 million per season. Edmonton Oilers re-signed Hedrick Borgstrom to a 3-year deal worth $2 million per season. New York Rangers re-signed Troy Terry to a 2-year deal worth $1.7 million per season. Retirements: Hendrik Lundqvist, Hendrik Zetterberg, Brandon Dubinsky, David Backes, Alex Steen, Pekka Rinne, Mikko Koivu, and Bobby Ryan. Boston Bruins buyout John Moore, Buffalo Sabres buyout Kyle Oposo, Detroit Red Wings buyout Justin Abdelkader, Minnesota Wild buyout Zach Parise, Ottawa Senators buyout Bobby Ryan, Tampa Bay Lightning buyout Yanni Gourde, and the Vancouver Canucks buyout Louis Eriksson. 2021 free agent signings: Arizona Coyotes signed Alec Martinez and Chris Russell, Boston Bruins signed Marcus Johansson and Carter Hutton, Chicago Blackhawks signed Paul Stastny and Devin Dubnyk, Dallas Stars signed Travis Zajac and Nicholas Jarmelson. Detroit Red Wings signed Zach Parise, Tyler Bozak, James Reimer, and Zach Hyman. Edmonton Oilers signed Kyle Oposo and Sven Berchi. LA Kings signed Michael Grabner and Marcus Foligno. Ottawa Senators signed Brandon Saad, Matt Niskanen, and Jonathan Bernier. San Jose Sharks signed Eric Stahl and Louis Eriksson. Anaheim Ducks signed Alex Goligoski. Buffalo Sabres signed Ryan Dzingel. Calgary Flames signed Alex Chiasson. Carolina Hurricanes signed Thomas Tatar. Minnesota Wild signed David Krejci. Nashville Predators signed John Moore. New Jersey Devils signed Yanni Gourde. New York Rangers signed Matthew Perreault. Philadelphia Flyers signed Justin Abdelkader. Tampa Bay Lightning signed Mark Stahl. Vegas Golden Knights signed Valtteri Filppula. And the Winnipeg Jets signed Braden Colbert. Players not on this list of free agents are re-signed by their current teams. All RFAs are re-signed by their current teams. The changes made in the offseason will have a major effect on the 2021-2022 season. In first place in the Atlantic Division are the Tampa Bay Lightning, followed by the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Florida Panthers. In first place in the Metropolitan Division are the Washington Capitals, followed by the New York Rangers and the Philadelphia Flyers. The Pittsburgh Penguins hold the first wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference, and the Carolina Hurricanes hold the second wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. Missing the playoffs in the Eastern Conference are the Columbus Blue Jackets, Ottawa Senators, New York Islanders, Montreal Canadiens, Detroit Red Wings, New Jersey Devils, Buffalo Sabres, and Boston Bruins. In first place in the Central Division are the Colorado Avalanche, followed by the Winnipeg Jets and St. Louis Blues. In first place in the Pacific Division are the Vegas Golden Knights, followed by the Edmonton Oilers and Calgary Flames. The Dallas Stars hold the first wildcard spot in the Western Conference, and the Vancouver Canucks hold the second wildcard spot in the Western Conference. Missing the playoffs in the Western Conference are the Arizona Coyotes, Nashville Predators, Anaheim Ducks, Chicago Blackhawks, LA Kings, San Jose Sharks, Minnesota Wild, and Seattle Kraken. Vegas Golden Knights beat the New York Rangers in 6 games to win the Stanley Cup. Retirements: Shea Weber, Johnny Boychuk, Franz Nielsen, Carl Alsner, Ryan Kessler, Corey Schneider, and Andy Green. Buffalo Sabres buyout Jeff Skinner. Minnesota Wild buyout Ryan Suter. Ottawa Senators buyout Nikita Zaitsev. Seattle buys out Kyle Turris. Tampa Bay Lightning buyout Tyler Johnson. And the Vancouver Canucks buyout Michael Furland. This brings us to the 2022 draft. 2022 draft results: Buffalo Sabres draft Iran Miroshnichenko. New Jersey Devils select Rucker McGrody. Minnesota Wild select Seamus Casey. San Jose Sharks select Maddox Fleming. LA Kings select Frank Nazar. Chicago Blackhawks select Juraj Slavkovsky. Detroit Red Wings select Jack Devine. Anaheim Ducks select Tristan Luneau. Montreal Canadiens select Jack Hughes. New York Islanders select Simon Nemec. Ottawa Senators select Isaac Howard. Arizona Coyotes select Cruz Lucius. Columbus Blue Jackets select Simon Forsmark. Vancouver Canucks select Ty Nelson. Carolina Hurricanes select David Goyette. Dallas Stars select Jordan Dumas. Calgary Flames select Yuri Lasala. Philadelphia Flyers select Joakim Kemble. St. Louis Blues select Charlie Leddy. Winnipeg Jets select Carl Ledwinski. Toronto Maple Leafs select Devin Kaplan. Colorado Avalanche select Lane Hudson. Washington Capitals select Elmeri Laxo. Tampa Bay Lightning select Connor Geeky, and the Vegas Golden Knights select Dustin Cote. Boston Bruins select Shane Wright and Vinny Borghese in the 2022 draft. Seattle Kraken select Matthew Savoy, Brad Lambert, and Michael Estarza in the 2022 draft. Edmonton Oilers draft Noel Gruder and Ludwig Persson in the 2022 draft. After the draft, several important trades are made. Boston Bruins acquire Spencer Knight and Brett Connolly from the Florida Panthers for Daniel Blader, Trent Frederick, Jacob Zaboral, and a second-round pick in 2023. If the Bruins make the playoffs, the second-round pick becomes a first-round pick. Detroit Red Wings trade Philip Zadina, Philip Pronik, and a first-round pick in 2024 to the Vancouver Canucks for Brock Besser and Jacob Markstrom. Edmonton Oilers trade Darnell Nurse and Zach Kassian to the Philadelphia Flyers for Shane Gostisbehere and Scott Laughton. Edmonton Oilers acquire Elvis Merzlikins from the Columbus Blue Jackets for a second-round pick in 2023 and a third-round pick in 2024. New Jersey Devils trade Kyle Palmieri and Jesper Bratt to the Nashville Predators for Eli Tolvanen, Philip Tomasino, and a first-round pick in 2023. New York Islanders trade Anders Lee, Noah Dobson, and a first-round pick in 2024 to the Minnesota Wild for Matt Dumba and Jordan Greenway. Ottawa Senators trade Josh Norris, Alex Formenton, and a second-round pick in 2023 to the St. Louis Blues for Braden Shen and Sammy Blaze. If Ottawa makes the playoffs, the second-round pick becomes a first-round pick. Seattle Kraken trade Jordan Staal, Zach Sanford, and Joel Armia to the Washington Capitals for Connor McMichael, Tom Wilson, and a first-round pick in 2024. Tampa Bay Lightning trade Mikhail Sergachev and Anthony Cirelli to the Colorado Avalanche for Sam Girard, Tyson Jost, Shane Bowers, and a first-round pick in 2023. Vegas Golden Knights acquire Pavel Zacha from the New Jersey Devils for a second-round pick in 2023. Washington Capitals trade TJ Oshie and Lars Eller to the Buffalo Sabres for Casey Mittelstadt, Dylan Cousins, and a first-round pick in 2023. Boston Bruins re-signed Cable Kakko to an 8-year deal worth $6 million per season, and Charlie McAvoy to a 6-year deal worth $5.2 million per season. Detroit Red Wings re-signed Brock Besser to a 5-year deal at $7 million per season, and Riley Smith to a 5-year deal worth $5 million per season. New York Rangers re-signed Patrice Bergeron to a 4-year deal at $7.5 million per season. Edmonton Oilers re-signed Elvis Merzlikins to a 5-year deal worth $5 million per season, and Mikko Koiskinen to a 1-year deal at $2.8 million per season. Boston Bruins re-signed Cody Glass to a 5-year deal at $4.5 million per season. Tampa Bay Lightning re-signed Tyson Jost to a 4-year deal at $3.75 million per season, and Shane Bowers to a 2-year deal at $2 million per season. New York Islanders re-signed Jordan Greenway to a 4-year deal at $3.5 million per season. Ottawa Senators re-signed Antti Ranta to a 3-year deal worth $4.2 million per season, and Sammy Blaze to a 3-year deal at $1.4 million per season. Seattle Kraken re-signed Connor McMichael to a 2-year deal worth $3.5 million per season. Boston Bruins re-signed Peyton Krebs to a 3-year deal worth $3 million per season, and Spencer Knight to a 2-year deal worth $2.8 million per season. 2022 free agent signings. Boston Bruins signed Ryan Suter and Dustin Brown. LA Kings signed Danica Kaiser and Milan Lucic. Minnesota Wild signed Phil Kessel and Nick Leddy. St. Louis Blues signed Tyler Johnson, Andre Palat, and Josh Manson. Arizona Coyotes signed Louis Erickson. Buffalo Sabres signed Nikita Zaitsev. Carolina Hurricanes signed Kyle Turris. Montreal Canadiens signed PK Subban. New Jersey Devils signed Nazem Kadri. New York Islanders signed Jeff Carter. Pittsburgh Penguins signed Michael Furland. San Jose Sharks signed Joe Pavelski. Toronto Maple Leafs signed Kyle Oposo, and the Vancouver Canucks signed Jeff Skinner. Players not on this list of free agents are re-signed by their current teams. All RFAs are re-signed by their current teams. The changes made in the offseason will have a major effect on the 2022-2023 season. In first place in the Atlantic Division are the Tampa Bay Lightning, followed by the Toronto Maple Leafs and Florida Panthers. In first place in the Metropolitan Division are the Washington Capitals, followed by the New York Rangers and Philadelphia Flyers. The Pittsburgh Penguins hold the first wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference, and the Detroit Red Wings hold the second wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. Missing the playoffs in the Eastern Conference are the Boston Bruins, Ottawa Senators, New Jersey Devils, Buffalo Sabres, Carolina Hurricanes, Columbus Blue Jackets, Montreal Canadiens, and New York Islanders. In first place in the Central Division are the Colorado Avalanche, followed by the Winnipeg Jets and Dallas Stars. In first place in the Pacific Division are the Edmonton Oilers, followed by the Vegas Golden Knights and Seattle Kraken. The St. Louis Blues hold the first wildcard spot in the Western Conference, and the Vancouver Canucks hold the second wildcard spot in the Western Conference. Missing the playoffs in the Western Conference are the Calgary Flames, Anaheim Ducks, Nashville Predators, San Jose Sharks, Chicago Blackhawks, Arizona Coyotes, LA Kings, and Minnesota Wild. Washington Capitals beat the Edmonton Oilers in 6 games to win the Stanley Cup. Retirements: Duncan Keith, Andrew Ladd, Corey Crawford. Florida Panthers buyout Michael Matheson, Minnesota Wild buyout Anders Lee, and the New York Islanders buyout JG Pageau. Before the 2023 draft, a few major trades are made. Chicago Blackhawks trade Patrick Kane to the Arizona Coyotes for Clayton Keller and a first-round pick in 2024. Chicago Blackhawks also trade Jonathan Toews to the Dallas Stars for Ty Dellandrea, Roope Hintz, and a first-round pick in 2023. LA Kings trade Anze Kopitar to the Arizona Coyotes for Nick Schmaltz, Barrett Hayton, and a first-round pick in 2023. This brings us to the 2023 draft. 2023 draft results. San Jose Sharks select Connor Bedard, LA Kings select Matvei Mikov, Minnesota Wild select Adam Fantilli, New York Islanders select Braden Yeager, Montreal Canadiens select Dalibor Dvorsky, Columbus Blue Jackets select Arttu Karki, Carolina Hurricanes select Samuel Sissek, Anaheim Ducks select Zone Zimmer, Calgary Flames select Hunter Razutowicz, Ottawa Senators select Cam Squires, Boston Bruins select Colby Barlow, Vancouver Canucks select Jesse Nurmi, Detroit Red Wings select Riley Hecht, St. Louis Blues select Connor Levis, Pittsburgh Penguins select Dominic Peter, Philadelphia Flyers select Otto Stenberg, Florida Panthers select Noah Berger, Winnipeg Jets select Felix Lundgren, New York Rangers select Jacob Zaganen, Toronto Maple Leafs select Ludwig Anderson, Vegas Golden Knights select Daniil Butt, and the Edmonton Oilers select Maxim Strabak. Chicago Blackhawks select Kalen Lind and Emil Javenti in the 2023 draft. Washington Capitals select Mikhail Goyeyev and Eetu Lavinen in the 2023 draft. Seattle selects Nate Danielson and Alex Chernik in the 2023 draft. New Jersey Devils select Andre Molnar and Lukas Drajovic in the 2023 draft. Tampa Bay Lightning select Alex Sandin Palika and Valtteri Lehtosaari in the 2023 draft. Boston Bruins trade Alex Tuch to the Tampa Bay Lightning for Eric Cernak and a second-round pick in 2024. Columbus Blue Jackets trade Seth Jones and Cam Atkinson to the Toronto Maple Leafs for Mitch Marner and Rasmus Sandin. Dallas Stars trade Travis Zajac to the Vegas Golden Knights for a second-round pick in 2024. Edmonton Oilers trade Shane Gostisbehere, Ludwig Persson, and a first-round pick in 2024 to the San Jose Sharks for Brent Burns. Florida Panthers trade Mike Hoffman, Sarah Arnold, and a first-round pick in 2024 to the Philadelphia Flyers for Jacob Voracek and Morgan Frost. LA Kings acquired Daniil Tarasov from the Columbus Blue Jackets for a second-round pick in 2024 and a second-round pick in 2025. New Jersey Devils trade Nikita Gusev and Damon Severson to the Chicago Blackhawks for Dominic Kubalik, Ian Mitchell, and a second-round pick in 2024. Washington Capitals trade Dmitry Orlov to the LA Kings for Adrian Kempe, Kale Clegg, and a second-round pick in 2024. Arizona Coyotes re-signed Patrick Kane to a 5-year deal worth $9.5 million per season. Boston Bruins re-signed David Pastrnak to an 8-year deal worth $8.8 million per season. Dallas Stars re-signed Jonathan Toews to a 5-year deal worth $7.5 million per season. New York Islanders re-signed Matt Dumba to a 6-year deal worth $6 million per season. LA Kings re-signed Dmitry Orlov to a 5-year deal worth $5.2 million per season. San Jose Sharks re-signed Shane Gostisbehere to a 6-year deal worth $5 million per season. Detroit Red Wings re-signed Jacob Markstrom to a 4-year deal worth $4.5 million per season. Washington Capitals re-signed Jordan Staal to a 4-year deal worth $4.5 million per season. Columbus Blue Jackets re-signed Rasmus Sandin to a 3-year deal worth $3.8 million per season. 2023 free agent signings. Boston Bruins signed Milan Lucic and Oscar Sundqvist. Chicago Blackhawks signed Simeon Varlamov and Alex Kerfoot. Montreal Canadiens signed Jason Zucker and JT Kuemper. New Jersey Devils signed Brian Dumoulin and Jonas Donskoy. Seattle signs JG Pageau and Paul Byron. Washington Capitals signed Eric Johnson and Andreas Janssen. Carolina Hurricanes signed Jonathan Quick. Colorado Avalanche signed Troy Terry. Columbus Blue Jackets signed James Van Riemsdyk. Dallas Stars signed Gustav Nyquist. Detroit Red Wings signed Michael Matheson. Edmonton Oilers signed Alex Killorn. Florida Panthers signed Patrick Hornquist. LA Kings signed Nick Jensen. Minnesota Wild signed Alexander Wenberg. Nashville Predators signed Jack Johnson. New York Islanders signed Anders Lee. New York Rangers signed Jake Gardner. Pittsburgh Penguins signed Jonathan Drouin. Ottawa Senators signed Alex Edler. San Jose Sharks signed Max Pacioretty. Seattle signs Keith Yandel. St. Louis Blues signed Lars Eller. Vancouver Canucks signed Brett Connolly. And the Winnipeg Jets signed Carl Hagelin. Players not on this list of free agents are re-signed by their current teams. All RFAs are re-signed by their current teams. The changes made in the offseason will have a real big impact on the 2023-2024 season. In first place in the Atlantic Division are the Boston Bruins, followed by the Toronto Maple Leafs and Tampa Bay Lightning. In first place in the Metropolitan Division are the Washington Capitals, followed by the New York Rangers and New Jersey Devils. The Buffalo Sabres hold the first wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference, and the Detroit Red Wings hold the second wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. Missing out on the playoffs in the Eastern Conference are the Columbus Blue Jackets, Pittsburgh Penguins, Philadelphia Flyers, Florida Panthers, Ottawa Senators, Carolina Hurricanes, Montreal Canadiens, and New York Islanders. In first place in the Central Division are the Colorado Avalanche, followed by the St. Louis Blues and Winnipeg Jets. In first place in the Pacific Division are the Edmonton Oilers, followed by the Seattle Kraken and San Jose Sharks. The Dallas Stars hold the first wildcard spot in the Western Conference, and the LA Kings hold the second wildcard spot in the Western Conference. Missing out on the playoffs in the Western Conference are the Arizona Coyotes, Vegas Golden Knights, Anaheim Ducks, Nashville Predators, Vancouver Canucks, Calgary Flames, Minnesota Wild, and Chicago Blackhawks. The Edmonton Oilers beat the Boston Bruins in 6 games to win the Stanley Cup. The winners in this scenario are the Boston Bruins, Edmonton Oilers, Seattle Kraken, Colorado Avalanche, and New Jersey Devils. The losers in this scenario are the Chicago Blackhawks, Minnesota Wild, New York Islanders, Montreal Canadiens, and Nashville Predators. The Boston Bruins have an amazing core of Shane Wright, David Pastrnak, Kaapo Kakko, Cody Glass, Peyton Krebs, Phil Pito, Charlie McAvoy, Adam Fox, Isaac Beliveau, and Spencer Knight. Edmonton Oilers have a fantastic core of Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Brent Burns, Evgeny Dadonov, Bill Broberg, Evan Bouchard, Kyle Yamamoto, Samuel Tumala, and Elvis Merzlikins. Colorado Avalanche have a great core of Nathan MacKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, Gabriel Landeskog, Cale Makar, Mikhail Sergachev, Bowen Byram, and Anthony Cirelli. Seattle Kraken will be the team of the future, with a core of Matthew Savoy, Brad Lambert, Atu Ratti, Connor McMichael, Michael Estarza, Keith Yandel, Nate Danielson, and Jesper Wallstedt. New Jersey Devils have built a lethal core of Nico Hischier, Jack Hughes, Dylan Gunther, Rucker McGrody, Jake Sanderson, Caden Cooley, Eli Tolvanen, Dominic Kubalik, and Mackenzie Blackwood. Chicago Blackhawks and Minnesota Wild both lose important core players and are going to be rebuilding for a few years. New York Islanders and Montreal Canadiens have a bunch of overpaid players, yet they are far from being contenders. Nashville Predators are major losers in this scenario, as they ended up trading away 2 future first-round picks, one of which turned into Brad Lambert. If Tuukka Rask retires in 2021, and the NHL as a whole would be very different. On my next what-if scenario, I talk about what if Pekka Rinne retires in 2021.